What's going on, everyone? We're back again with a different kind of video today, guys. So this one's going to be super interesting, okay? So as you guys can read the title already, I have seen a UFO. Now, before you click off this video, the reason why I'm recording this one, guys, is not clickbait. I definitely saw a UFO, UAP, whatever it's called. But I'll get into the story time in just one moment. I just want to say exactly why I'm recording this. Basically, one of the main reasons why I'm recording this is because of all the stuff that's coming out now in the US. They're saying that, UFOs are real. They're up in Congress and they're up there testifying to people, to the president, to the Congress, saying that we've seen UFOs. Military people, guys that are in the Navy, 15 billion euro worth of equipment have seen these objects and all these stories. There's like 100 stories. You guys can just go on YouTube and Google them. And these are actually like pretty prominent people. Right? It's not just nut jobs and cuckoo people from like nutcase land, testifying up there. These are actual like commanders in the military, like senior generals and things like that. And there's loads of stories. You guys can go check them out. Just Google UFO, America, and there's just tons. But also there's loads in Russia as well. If you guys can Google UFO Russia, there's loads of UFO stories. But I just want to tell my story on how I saw UFO in Galway. And also the second reason why I want to make this is because in like 50 years time, when they actually reveal, UFOs are real and they actually reveal all these different things, I want to be on the right side of history. I want to actually be proven that I've actually seen these things, and everyone can say, oh, Chris saw those things. Or maybe in 200 years time, you can say, oh, Chris actually saw these things. So I love UFOs as well, guys. I watch all the documentaries. Like, there was a load of documentaries by Dr. Stephen Greer, and he was on all these different shows, like podcasts with different people on YouTube. You guys can go check him out. And, I definitely believe a lot of the stuff he's saying. Now, I'm not saying what I saw was an alien thing or whatever, but I'm not saying it wasn't either, okay? But what I'm saying, what I saw was something completely different than anything I've ever seen before in my life. So, the way this all went down, guys, all right, is basically, I'm here in Dublin right now. Now, I live in Galway, and one day I woke up, it was like a October, November morning, and it was pretty overcast today, okay? I woke up, I had to go to college. This is back in 2018, and I had to go back into college, right? So this is like 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever the case is. I got up out of bed like normal, got in my car, and I was driving towards my college, right? Which is in Galway, okay? And I've been hearing on the radio like a lot of these unknown sightings of like these unknown jets have been going on, and all these different things been going on. So I wasn't really like, looking for anything, but I definitely was like, kind of like, oh wow, this would be kind of cool if I saw like an actual, something that I've never recognized before. Now, bear in mind, guys, I've been to air shows before, okay? I've seen those, what are they called, F-22 Raptors. I've seen all these different airplanes before, guys. I have seen these in real life. You can see them, they kind of pass along your vision, even if they're going like whatever, Mach 10 or, super fast. They're going like this, like, and they just kind of fly away. You can still see them turn to like a little dot in your actual vision. So it's pretty cool to see that, right? Now, what I saw completely different, and it's hard to describe, but I'm gonna try and describe the best way I can. Now, like I said, guys, on the radio and all over the news for the past few weeks leading up to this, there was like a bunch of news reports saying that they saw these different things out the side of windows. The Irish Air Aviation Unit, whatever, they called up the freaking RAF in England, and they were asking them like, hey, like, we have a lot of these sightings going on. What's actually going on? We have a lot of sightings in Ireland. What's going on? Do you know anything? And they're like, no, we don't know, because a lot of this is, compartmentalized, guys. A lot of these sections of government, it's all hidden sections, of government. That's what Dr. Stephen Greer says. So, it does make sense that nobody would actually know what it is. But what I saw was insane. So like I said, guys, getting back to my story, just that little pointer out there, not to say that I'm insane, because everyone's like, oh, Chris has lost his mind. So just bear in mind with me, guys. So I'm driving, like 2018, like I said, and I'm driving, and I'm on a road, like a pretty straight road, where like you can see pretty far in front of you. You can see the elevation too, right? You can see to the ground. It's not like you can see and then there's like trees at level and then it drops, right? You can just see straight and then you can see down as well. So it's like a clear path on the road and you can see upwards, right? Now, I'm driving and remember this clear as day, didn't have glasses on. I normally wear glasses like 24/7, but I didn't have them on. I'm driving like this, and I'm looking up, and all of a sudden my vision just kind of goes up slightly, and what I see is like the most crazy thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was basically a gray dot. Okay, it was a gray circle. It probably looked from where it was probably about a kilometer away. I would say, you know, maybe a little bit further, but it was in my vision, pretty perfectly aligned with my vision. So I saw it like right here in my vision, about a kilometer, maybe a mile away. A circular sphere, gray. Okay, a gray circular sphere. And I'm watching this thing. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I start saying to myself, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? And I'm, you know, looking at this thing, like, and I have my eyes, and I'm watching the road too. The road is going like this, and I'm driving, and I'm watching this sphere kind of circle, and it's almost like reflecting light. There's no like light coming off it. There's no like, you know, light penetrating it. You can see the blue behind, you know, the clouds behind the object. I don't know what this object was. And I'm looking at this thing, I'm staring at it. This probably goes on for about 20 seconds. Okay, and I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? And then it's all of a sudden you can kind of see the gray just ever so slightly turn. So it like turns the gray sphere is like turning a little bit. And it's hard to describe, but I was trying to find objects that would kind of describe it. But it basically looked like, you know, some sort of, you know, key, like a silver key, but like a spherical silver key, so you couldn't see through it. But it was like super reflective, almost looked like a disc shape, but it was sideways, right? It wasn't like flat, right? You could see the circular, and then all of a sudden, 20 seconds later, it just starts turning just a little bit, and then boom, it just vanishes. It kind of moved. It moved so slightly to the right, and then just boom, just vanished. Like, so, you know, out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't like, you know, you saw it take off like a plane, and I was clearly watching this thing. I was looking at this thing like driving, like, okay, I'm looking at this UFO, because a lot of people will be like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? This sounds insane. And for years I was trying to figure out what this was. So I started Googling it, right? Recently, like maybe like 6 months ago, and I literally found out what it was. It's what they were basically talking about. These are like unknown, you know, weapons that like the US are like developing and shit like that. Or else it's like a UFO. I don't really subscribe super heavy to the UFO theory, but it's definitely some technology that we don't know about, guys, because this thing just vanished. And it wasn't like you could see it go to the left or the right a little bit and then just fly off. It just vanished out of nowhere. Now I'm looking around for this thing, and it's gone, guys. It's nowhere. But this thing was big. Like, it was probably about, you know, like they say in the video, it's about 40 foot in length. It was big, right? Even from far away, like you could see it, circular and silver. And I was on my own, so I was like, oh my god, I was freaking out. So I drove into college, started asking my friends. I was like, guys, you should have seen what I saw. This was crazy. So anyway, I kind of forget about it, but it was so crazy because for some reason I got this like ominous feeling, this kind of feeling of like dread, like, oh my god, like this isn't, like, it was just like such a mind weird, it was like a weird thing to like experience, right? So I drove home after college and I started Googling it. Lo and behold, guys, there was reports that day over like Kerry or whatever, and that was the direction I was facing, of like these silver objects going around the place, just like flying around. They don't know what they were. And I'll pull up the articles here. You know, I know it's a lot of work for me. I don't like working a lot on this YouTube channel. I like filming the videos and talking on camera, but the editing is just, yeah, editing is whack. But you guys can just Google it, UFOs 2018. The Ryanair and Aer Lingus were in contact with the RAF for like weeks after this because they didn't know what the hell was going on in Kerry. And there's all these weird sites of like unknown objects. I'm not saying what it was, guys. I'm just saying what I saw. And I told everybody about this. And it was just insane, guys. It was like this ominous feeling. And I wasn't into UFOs at the time, guys. Right? I didn't really care. I was like, oh, that's just like whatever. But it was this feeling of like dread, like, oh my god, this thing just literally vanished. Like, there was no way that you could stop this thing if it tried to attack, or if it was, you know, safe, or whatever it was. And flying around a silver disc, you know, I tried to figure out what it was. I thought it was a B-52 stealth bomber, for those who are into like airplanes and stuff. Because those things, when they break the sound barrier, you can see those things. Like, you can see like the silver, it's like a silver disc, right? But it's like a silver pointy triangle. But this wasn't that, guys. This was a hovering. It was just stationary in the wind. It was a stationary circular object in the wind, just sitting there, like clear as day. Like, and there were a lot of people that made those reports that day, and it was tripping me out, guys. I almost wanted to ring into like freaking Niall Boylan and say like, yo, I saw this crazy stuff. And I know there's a lot of people that have seen this thing as well, guys, because it was all over the newspaper. These air aviation units, they're flying all day, guys. They see weird stuff in the sky. They see planes, because you know, if anyone's ever been on a plane or a helicopter, you can tell when you look at something, you're like, oh yeah, that's like regular. This looked completely different. It wasn't high up, it wasn't low down, but it just was like hovering, a big silver sphere, like this big silver disc. So, like I say, guys, that's my UFO experience. Not very that entertaining, but I'd love to see, you know, anyone else's experience with UFOs and stuff, because it was crazy to see. Like, it was so ominous. The feeling of like dread that I got, because like it just vanished, guys. There was no like, it turned just ever so slightly, and you could see the silver kind of turning a little bit. It looked like it was almost turning, but like light reflecting off it, right? It didn't look like super real. It was so crazy. And I still have that image implanted in my head. So one of my theories that I have, because I don't really, like I said, subscribe too much to maybe the UFO stuff, it could be, right? But I think that maybe the government or something, one of the governments have like a technology where they can just make stuff appear. Like, you know, when Tupac appeared as a illumination, he appeared like as a person, and he's like running around the stage rapping, you know, where they're able to like make things look real, but it's not actually real. Maybe they have technologies now that anywhere in the world they can just plant an object and make it look like it's actually there, and then just make it vanish, because it would make sense, but if it's just vanishing, right? Because they could just turn it on and off. You couldn't really move it too well, but I've heard other reports where they're chasing these like, you know, little white, pills basically around, these fighter jets are chasing these pills around the ocean. So it would make sense that they could turn this system like on and off, but it is just an interesting theory of mine. They have some sort of like illumination, thing where they can kind of turn on the friggin', the things on and off to make it look like an object is actually there, but it's not actually there. That kind of seems like the most likely theory to me, where it seems like that could have happened. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys think I'm insane? Do you guys think I've lost my mind? That's my story. Driving down, saw this silver pill for about 20-30 seconds maybe. It started turning ever so slightly, and then boom, it just vanished. And I was like, yo, I was tripping, guys. I went into town, into college, and I was like asking my friends, I was like, oh my God, did you guys hear about this? And they, nobody was interested, right? They were just like, they didn't even listen to me. I actually remember that. And then I was Googling it, and lo and behold, it's all over the newspapers, all over the radio, but nobody really cared, guys, because, people are bothered, people are worried about things like money and stuff. So it makes sense. But yeah, just want to put that on camera and put it up on my YouTube channel, because I know a lot of people will be interested to hear that story. I can go more in depth, but that's as more in depth as it really was, guys. I just saw this thing and it just vanished. Crazy to see, like I said, ominous as hell. But yeah, I don't want to be repeating myself. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, tell me some more of your UFO stories or whatever you saw in the sky. I've seen like, crazy thing is, because I've seen like meteors, and me and my friend, we used to sit outside and we used to watch the meteors fly by and these kind of things, and that looked real. Everything looked quite like, oh, that's a meteor, that's a thing, that's a thing. This just looked like insane, guys. This didn't look like anything that I've ever seen in my life, like no planes or anything, guys, any helicopters. It was just hovering 1 minute, turn slightly, silver disc, and then boom, gone, So yeah, it was insane, guys, to see. I didn't know what it was for years, but then I just want to put this video up as well because I have this YouTube channel, and obviously more people might, more people around Ireland might see this and tell me in the comments down below. If you live in Ireland and you saw something around that time, Kerry 2018, please let me know in the comments. Be absolutely fire. I love you guys all, and I'll see you all in the next one, man. Peace.